Praise be Jesus Christ. Archbishop Charles Thompson, the Archbishop of Indianapolis, told Brebeuf Jesuit Preparatory School, Catholic school in his diocese, that they can no longer be called Catholic. And the reason is one of their teachers, it says, attempted to contract a same-sex marriage. And the Archbishop worked very pastorally. He took his time, but he urged the leaders, especially the Jesuit priests who were in charge of the school, urged them to not renew this person's contract because he did something publicly and officially and is persisting in something that directly contradicts church teaching. And the Jesuits appealed to the Vatican, and the Vatican suspended the sanctions that the bishop made against the Jesuit school. Now, the reason for the Archbishop to make this move, which, poor Archbishop, I mean, as if our bishops don't have enough to deal with, he's in this situation. What does he do? You know, again, he stressed, he says, listen, I'm not asking you to not renew this gentleman's contract simply because he's a homosexual man or whatever. It's because he's done something publicly and officially and is persisting in something that it contradicts what the church teaches. Now, the Archbishop's motivation, Matthew chapter 18, beginning in verse 6, whoever causes, these are the words of Jesus, by the way, whoever causes one of these little ones who believes in me to sin, it would be better for him to have a great millstone hung around his neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. You see, the Archbishop, he wants to spend eternity in heaven. And he knows that as the leader of his diocese, not only does he have a right, but he has a duty to see to it that the role models, the leaders, the instructors, the teachers, the chaplains of the Catholic schools are good Catholic role models. And if he were to neglect that duty, he'd have to ask himself, like, am I going to hell? Like, can I get to heaven when I know that children under my care are being exposed to something that directly contradicts church teaching? And again, it's embarrassing for the Archbishop because he knows he's going to get flack. If you go up against the Jesuits, you pretty much don't have a chance. And not only that, it was the Congregation for Education that suspended the Archbishop's ruling. And this is the deal. Bishop Barron, in his book, Letter to the Suffering Church, he speaks about the mystery of how McCarrick, despite his outrageous behavior, was promoted over and over again. Let me read it to you. It seems numerous bishops and archbishops and cardinals, both in this country and in the Vatican, knew all about McCarrick's outrageous behavior and did nothing in response to it. Or rather worse, they continued to advance him up the ecclesiastical ladder from auxiliary bishop to bishop of a diocese to archbishop and finally to cardinal, even after he resigned from his post in Washington. It goes on to say he was a kingmaker in the American hierarchy. We all know that. We're all waiting for an investigation. There has to be one. According to our Bishop Barron, again, I need to quote Bishop Barron, because if I say this myself, I get whacked. But if I quote Bishop Barron, I might be able to get away with it. Bishop Barron says, I believe that another essential move, if the Catholic Church is serious about preventing McCarrick-like situations going forward, is to launch a formal investigation both on this side of the Atlantic and in Rome to determine how someone like Theodore McCarrick, whose serious misbehavior was well known, could possibly have risen so high in the government of the Church. So we all know that, but what I wanted to quote is, after Bishop Barron mentions the mystery of McCarrick being quoted, this is what he says. I want you to pay attention to this. He says, the average Catholic in America could certainly be forgiven for thinking that something like a conspiracy of silence and a deep corruption obtained within the institutional life of the Church. Now listen, I hope that this congregation of education that's supposed to investigate the situation at the Brebeuf High School, I hope these are good, solid, orthodox leaders. But like Bishop Barron is saying, you can't help but to wonder, can we trust that the leaders in the Vatican are going to rule fairly for this poor archbishop? You know, we have so few leaders in the church who are willing to stand up to the spirit of the age and say, no way, we're Catholic. We're Catholic, and who cares? Who cares if the Vatican goes after me? Who cares if the Jesuits goes after me? Who cares if the government goes after me? I won't compromise. And so again, I pray. I pray for Archbishop Thompson. I honor him. Can't be easy, but Archbishop, we're with you. Viva Cristo.